It all began with a whispered question echoing through the corridors of Parliament. No camera lights, no reporters chasing the scoop just behind those closed oak doors where reputations were questioned and history was quietly rewritten. Why is he still here? That question from a senior member of the House of Lords sparked the largest political storm in Prince Harry's post-royal phase. This was not just a scandal. It was a movement beginning to take shape. Within 48 hours, the whispers of dissent had turned into something much deeper, a proposal that could result in Prince Harry's complete expulsion from the United Kingdom. It sounds absurd, unbelievable, even illegal. But if what we are about to reveal is true, then everything from royal titles, taxpayer outrage, to the secret deals behind Meghan's Netflix contract aligns like a picture that was always destined to collapse. If you find this story interesting, leave a comment with the number 1, and if not, leave a comment with the number 0. Don't forget to like, share the video, and comment your thoughts below to let us know. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any exciting videos. Now let's dive into the story. This was not a spontaneous reaction from the media, but a deliberate calculation. At the center of it all was a leak from Parliament, a mysterious memo along with a phrase that had become a rallying cry resonating across the United Kingdom. He is no longer one of us. While the media hadn't fully grasped the situation, one social media user had. On June 28, 2025, an anonymous post exploded on Twitter. British politics was in turmoil. If the rumors from Westminster held any truth, Prince Harry should start preparing to leave. This time, the Senate was not joking. Within an hour, the topic had become a trending subject. Just a day later, the information had spread everywhere. Harry was shocked not by the rumors, but by the identities of those behind them. Because those behind the situation were not just critics or tabloid journalists. They were powerful lords, influential ministers, intelligence officials who had worked in the shadows, and even senior members of the royal family. While Buckingham Palace chose silence, the House of Lords quietly prepared a highly serious document called the Restoration of Integrity Protocol, a cold, bureaucratic term meant to send a clear message. If you abandon the throne, you will lose all privileges, including residency rights, security protection, and even citizenship. Across the ocean in California, Prince Harry was trying to keep his composure amidst the mounting tension. Meghan, from what is known, viewed this as just a group of white people trying to grab media attention with baseless rumors. However, behind Harry's eyes, there was a sense of something fractured, a deep hurt. For he knew better than anyone that 10 years ago he had made a sacred promise, and now that promise had become a haunting specter, one that would not let go. Each deleted tweet, every false statement, and every PR campaign orchestrated takes hours, even days, to piece together the full picture. It is a complex web that few outsiders can fully understand. This is not a public promise made in interviews with Oprah or James Corden, but a quiet commitment exchanged in a closed-door meeting at Clarence House just weeks before the infamous Megxit deal was finalized. In that meeting, Prince Harry looked his father, King Charles, straight in the eye and declared, "I will never speak ill of the family, no matter what happens." With those 8 simple words, he secured the right to keep his royal titles, special security exemptions in the UK, and most importantly, dual residency status. However, he has broken this promise 3 times. The first was the bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey, the second was the exclusive documentary on Netflix, and the third was the memoir, Spare, a book that rocked the royal family, causing many senior members to feel embarrassed and betrayed. Now Parliament and the authorities have sent a clear message. Enough is enough, no more leniency. Behind closed doors, Lord Trendale, a seasoned figure known for his discretion and power in the House of Lords, is said to be the one who drafted the first version of the resolution to expel Prince Harry. This is no joke, no political stunt, but a serious legal protocol that has garnered the support of over 30 members of the House of Commons. What's particularly striking is that the content of this draft has been leaked to the outside, sparking a wave of shock in public opinion and international media. The story is slowly unfolding more secrets never before known, and surely there will be many more developments to come that everyone is eagerly awaiting. Someone tweeted, "Palace Files. UK has just revealed the terms in the proposal from Lord. Any royal family member who officially steps down from duties, accepts financial compensation from foreign countries, and publicly tarnishes the royal family will be considered for revocation of their immigration rights." The phrase, "publicly tarnishing the royal family," immediately added fuel to the fire, sparking a public outcry. This has left many questioning the limits of loyalty and responsibility towards the monarchy. Public opinion has sharply divided into two camps. One side argues that it is time to sever ties with royal family members who have violated the rules in order to protect the image and honor of the royal family. On the other hand, some oppose this, claiming that such expulsion is unconstitutional, unjust, and goes against long-standing traditions. However, amidst all the opinions, a particularly influential voice comes from within Harry's world. A former royal security advisor who requested to remain anonymous shared with a British investigative news agency, "There has been an unspoken consensus among the aristocracy. Harry may enjoy both freedoms, but that will not happen if he continues to turn royal secrets into a source of income." These words serve as a stern warning about the limits Harry is crossing. This is no longer just a story about expulsion. The House of Lords is considering an important precedent for the future of the monarchy. If Harry can escape the consequences, who will stop Prince Andrew or any other aristocrat who falls out of favor from fleeing to America, freely sharing private stories on platforms like Netflix? This could set a dangerous precedent, shaking the very foundation of the royal family's credibility. The issue now is not just about Harry, but also a challenge for the entire monarchy in the modern era. Meghan, Harry's wife, seems to have foreseen these difficulties, but the way she has handled them has only complicated matters further. The confrontation and behind-the-scenes actions have added pressure and division. Before the expulsion movement spread widely on social media, Meghan Markle had quietly acted behind the scenes. A week earlier, a series of private emails were sent to 3 key figures in Parliament, including 2 lords and a junior advisor from the Home Office. The sender was Meghan's legal representative, expressing urgent legal concerns about the ongoing developments. What was particularly striking was that these emails not only outlined the concerns, but also carried a clearly threatening tone. This was not just a warning, but more of a reminder exerting significant pressure on the lawmakers. The situation has become more tense than ever as the parties involved face off in a power struggle filled with calculations behind the historical curtain. It is seen as a clear warning. If the UK continues to investigate and interrogate Harry's situation, Meghan will be forced to publicly expose the discrimination she suffered within the royal grounds in court. However, the most ironic and ruthless aspect of this is that one of these emails was leaked with the culprit believed to be someone close to the Conservative Party. The contents quickly spread across social media within just a few short hours. Immediately, a Twitter user wrote, "The Westminster bell is ringing. If my husband is targeted by the Lords, I will not stay silent about what I had to endure in those palaces." Meghan's lawyer in the leaked email stated that this was not a threat, but a call for justice. However, the British media did not waste any time turning the incident into a dramatic media storm. If you find this story interesting and want to learn more, don't forget to share the video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exciting videos. Now let's continue the story together. The British press quickly erupted with sensational headlines. Meghan's team tried to explain that this was just a misunderstanding, a call for justice, not a direct threat. But the damage was already done. What was initially an iconic expulsion move had now become a story full of emotion and deeper contradictions than ever before. To the public, it was no longer just about Harry violating royal protocol. Meghan seemed to be perceived as someone trying to blackmail the royal family by holding on to what were believed to be sensitive secrets that could cause significant harm. The Daily Chronicle even published a headline that spread like wildfire within an hour, reading "Blackmail or Panic." Meghan's legal team launched a quiet counterattack aimed at Parliament. Within royal circles, this was seen as the breaking point when, in less than 72 hours, 2 personal assistants leaked Meghan's private WhatsApp messages from several months ago. In these messages, she was believed to have predicted that Parliament would attempt to strip away all their privileges, and she had already prepared her public relations team for a fierce media battle. A palace insider tweeted, "Buckingham insider reveals she knew this was going to happen a long time ago. She's been building an elaborate strategy for months. From speeches, clips in the Netflix documentary, to staged moments in podcasts. None of this was accidental or spontaneous. This is no longer a reaction. It's a carefully calculated counterattack." Things have now spiraled out of control. The big question now is, what will happen next? No one, not even Prince Harry, can be fully prepared to face the unforeseen consequences of this battle. A war of power, honor, and reputation is intensifying more than ever before. Until now, Buckingham Palace has maintained a strategy of silence whenever tensions rise. They allow the media to create their own stories and conflicts. However, on July 5, 2025, just 2 days after Meghan's email leak, the palace issued a brief, cold, and purposefully clear statement. And this is what stands out. The statement had nothing to do with Harry, but instead focused on Kate. The press office provided an update on the Princess of Wales' global health initiative, confirming her return to public engagements and reaffirming her role at the upcoming United Nations Youth Assembly in Geneva. Just one sentence, but it carried more significance than anything the palace could say about Harry, because in royal language this was not merely a schedule update. This is a very delicate divide. Meghan is once again publicly overshadowed by the woman she quietly attempted to sideline. And if the information about Meghan trying to block Kate's speech at the United Nations is true, then the timing of the palace's decision is far from coincidental. It is truly a statement. A source close to the royal media team is said to have shared with a British news agency, "Charles will not speak about Harry. He believes actions will speak louder than words. Kate is the future." And this is how to speak without actually saying a word. With this single quote, a wave of backlash emerged, as it suddenly seemed Charles was subtly endorsing the strategy of exclusion without directly referencing it. The palace did not deny the discussions from the House of Lords. They also did not comment on the legality of revoking Harry's immigration status. The palace simply put Kate back in the headlines. Meanwhile, Meghan was immediately left behind. The following day, she was spotted at a private event in Beverly Hills, visibly distressed. Witnesses reported that she quickly left after receiving a phone call that left her face pale. Twitter exploded with reactions about Meghan being in a downward spiral. King Charles once again chose Kate while Harry was left entirely in the shadows. If the expulsion is indeed being discussed, then where is the royal protection? Meanwhile, inside Parliament, a surprise is quietly emerging as the Lords receive a confidential file they did not request, but cannot ignore. It is a document from a skilled intelligence officer named Harry, and the contents of this file have the potential to turn the entire situation from a political debate into a serious national security scandal. The file was sent anonymously without any official checks or digital traces. It was simply a sealed manila envelope hand-delivered directly to the private desk of the secretary in the House of Lords. The envelope had no return address, only a small card with 5 typed words, "This is why he left." Inside was an 18-page document. But inside there was information that no one in that meeting room could have anticipated. The file recorded secret exchanges between Prince Harry and an international media executive made public months before Megxit was officially announced. This implied that Harry had been negotiating his departure long before the royal family knew, and even worse, with the help of a politically sensitive foreign entity. One lord described this as potentially not a violation of the law, but extremely dangerous, especially considering the context. The executive mentioned has close ties to a foreign government which is currently actively lobbying on UK-US trade agreements. Suddenly, Harry's departure was no longer seen as a family breakup. It now seemed like a strategic move, and this shifted everything completely. The Lords initially debated the expulsion of Harry based on betrayal of loyalty and embarrassment to the royal family. But now their concerns were no longer just about honor, but national security. If Harry was planning an escape with the help of a foreign lobbyist while still maintaining royal privileges, this was no longer just a sensational story. This is treason. Parliament can no longer turn a blind eye. Within 24 hours, two previously neutral committee members suddenly changed their stance. They pushed for closed-door sessions, invited immigration ethics consultants, and ordered an internal audit of the original Mexico agreement. Because if this agreement was built on lies, it could be completely invalidated. This means Harry's residency rights could be revoked, and if that happens, everything will shift from a political matter to a personal one. A former close member of Meghan's inner circle, a name that hadn't been mentioned in years, suddenly spoke out, and what she revealed would completely overturn Meghan's strategy. That name had disappeared from the public eye for quite some time. However, as Buckingham Palace was compiling a list of candidates for the House of Lords investigation, the name Ella Ren appeared repeatedly in quiet whispers. Ella was not a royal figure nor a celebrity. She deliberately chose to stay out of the spotlight. As a senior assistant in Meghan's personal public relations team during the final year of the Megxit strategy, Ella was the only one with access to all activities, yet she remained silent. However, when the Lords called for Harry's expulsion and the press began to surround their lives, Ella contacted a former palace liaison. What she provided sent a shiver down the spine of the entire committee. It wasn't just one email. It was a pattern, dozens of internal messages scheduling invites and call logs revealing how Meghan was allegedly planning to stage an image rehabilitation campaign long before their public interviews took place, using personal relationships with the American media to calm the situation when they realized that Britain would turn its back on them. This email garnered special attention. Once Harry leaves, we'll make everything look emotional, not strategic. Don't let him seem like he had planned it all along. That's the kiss of death. This message was sent 6 months before their interview with Oprah. The Lords were not only shocked, but also deeply angered. One member of the council told The Times in a sidebar conversation, "They've used this country as a joke, all while continuing to exploit the security privileges we grant to those who are truly loyal." Expulsion might be a mild response. One person tweeted, "The crown has been leaked. This Ella Ren file is horrifying. If Meghan coordinated emotional manipulation campaigns to cover up Harry's departure, then Harry isn't just facing expulsion. He's been ponized." When this information hit the media, Harry and Meghan's team quickly responded. A public relations specialist issued a brief statement, "We strongly deny any unethical coordination in the trip." But it was too late. Members of the Lords Committee now demanded a comprehensive interrogation of Ella Ren under oath and confidentiality. Harry's legal team began preparing for something no royal family member had ever considered necessary: an urgent visa appeal. Because if the Senate invokes the constitutional provision allowing for the expulsion of royal family members no longer serving for national security reasons, Prince Harry could be permanently stripped of his residency rights in the UK. From there, every newsroom from London to Los Angeles is chasing the same question: can the UK actually expel Prince Harry? The answer is more complicated than expected because technically Harry is no longer a taxpayer in the UK. Harry has changed his primary residence to California, and according to recent immigration records, he extended his U.S. visa in 2024 under the O-1B visa category, which is for individuals with extraordinary abilities in their field. However, there is an important detail: Harry's O-1B visa was not sponsored by Netflix, as many people assume, but by a lesser-known media company that recently shut down. This means his immigration status is highly vulnerable. Worse still, in the UK, colleagues at the House of Lords have begun to invoke a lesser-known clause from 1951 called the Protocol for Revoking Honorary Citizenship. This is part of post-war legislation designed to strip individuals of symbolic status in cases where they cause embarrassment or pose a threat to the nation. This action has only been attempted twice before and never successfully, but now an official petition has crossed the threshold. With the support of a group of aristocrats frustrated with politics, someone tweeted a double colon at UK Policy Insider, and the House of Lords has officially triggered the deactivation protocol. If this is passed, Harry will lose all honorary rolls protection and could even lose the right to land in the UK. This is an extremely serious situation for him. Inside Harry's camp, panic began to spread. Legal advisors were now focusing not only on protecting his reputation, but also on his logistical survival. Because if Harry loses both his symbolic status and the visa protection tied to it, he will become a man without citizenship. Meanwhile, Meghan is reportedly furious. According to information from Page 6, a source close to Meghan stated that she blamed the decision to remain silent rather than confronting Harry's lords directly. She told him that this wouldn't have happened if he had stood up for himself. That silence made him appear guilty. But now it's too late to speak out, as a new leak, this time from a source in the US, is about to flip the story once again. A chain of private emails from 2021 marked Top Secret will resurface, placing Meghan, not Harry, at the center of the biggest manipulation allegations ever. It was deleted without warning, with no watermark, no trace of the media channel, just an anonymous chain of emails forwarded to a group of journalists with a single line: "She's the architect, not the ally." These messages date back to 2021. The sender is Meghan Markle. The recipients are three members of a private strategic media firm based in California, known for rebranding controversial public figures. The content of the messages reads, "Frankly, we need to position Harry as a victim of a machine that has existed for centuries. He cannot be seen as complicit. If they come for him, we'll pivot to trauma. Childhood Diana. Let's build on that. The UK will call it betrayal. That's the key point. The outrage validates his decision to leave. Let them do their part." These emails are time-stamped just 1 month before the explosive interview between Harry and Meghan with Oprah aired. But this was not just a PR stunt. It was a preemptive media war, and the House of Lords was far from pleased about it. One aristocrat is said to have remarked in a private meeting, "It's not exile if you stage your own expulsion." At that point, it was an act of sabotage. Meghan's team tried to spin the leak as out-of-context information, but public opinion shifted quickly. Someone tweeted about the reality check for the royals. Meghan's leaked emails were a manipulation on a higher level. If she was indeed planning a backlash to turn Harry into a wounded hero, then this isn't love, it's strategy. Even American TV channels started pulling back. A former late-night host joked that at this point, Netflix should reclassify their documentary as fiction. But behind those headlines, something even more dangerous was beginning to stir. A former MI5 advisor, now a security consultant, anonymously told the Daily Telegraph, "If royal family members are involved in coordinated foreign image campaigns against the UK while maintaining diplomatic status infringing upon national intelligence territory, then suddenly the issue is no longer just about expulsion. The issue is whether Meghan and Harry have crossed a line that the royal family can no longer ignore." And what happened next shocked both Buckingham Palace and the world. The morning after the email leak, Buckingham Palace made a rare move. There was no statement, no denial, no royal spokesperson appearing at the gates. Instead, a single message was quietly sent out. The message was not meant for the press, but for Prince Harry's legal team in California. According to inside sources, the message was very brief. His status could no longer be justified. If he wished to retain any privileges, he must fully resign in writing within 72 hours. It was a quiet ultimatum designed not to stir up public opinion, but to bring consequences. Because the House of Lords had now passed a unanimous resolution urging the monarchy to strip Harry of all remaining honorary roles, military, diplomatic, charitable, everything. That same afternoon, the UK Immigration Office was reportedly flagged the most recent re-entry application for Harry, noting irregularities in the application related to the sponsor. The expulsion process had officially begun. Someone tweeted a double colon at Monarch Watch UK, announcing, "They've given him 72 hours, strip him of all titles, block future entry." If Harry is not a British citizen due to loyalty or legal reasons, he does not deserve land in the UK in their Montecito estate. Meghan and Harry are reportedly having continuous arguments. A former staff member said that she kept saying, "This is supposed to make us untouchable." He only responded, "You've made us radioactive." By the end of the day, Harry's lawyer quietly requested a private meeting with a senior royal assistant close to Prince Charles, but the palace refused. The game was over. And as the 72-hour deadline approached, a BBC reporter stationed outside Westminster summed up the issue perfectly. It's no longer about titles. It's about whether someone born with power can burn every bridge and still expect to walk through the ashes. 71 hours after the ultimatum, the royal website was updated. Prince Harry's name, once listed alongside military honorary titles, patronages, and official visits, was quietly removed from all official duty lists. No ceremony, no announcement, just simply gone. A banner at the bottom of the page read, "This section is being updated to reflect recent changes." And then the final leak emerged. A member of the House of Lords who had remained silent throughout the media storm broke ranks during an emergency session that evening, holding up a redacted government document. The words "immigration violation" were clearly visible. Through the document, he boldly declared, "This is no longer a royal scandal. This is a matter of national law. The Duke of Sussex has overstayed exceeding even his legal entitlements." The council erupted into debate, and less than an hour later, Sky News confirmed that UK Home Office officials had made an official request to the US State Department challenging Harry's dual visa status. Someone tweeted on UK Galavix that the Home Office had filed for a review of Harry's visa status. If approved, the expulsion process could begin. And now it truly was the case. Back in Montecito, Harry was reportedly slamming the door to his private office. Meghan, seen walking by the pool, was overheard by a staff member muttering, "I told him to give a statement. I told him to cry. He refused. And now look, but Lee, it's too late." The public no longer wanted a tearful podcast or a scripted apology on Netflix. They wanted consequences. And for the first time in history, both Parliament and the Palace seemed to have reached a consensus. Prince Harry had finally crossed the line. There would be no last-minute pardon, no family intervention, only silence and the slow, painful realization that he had become what the royal family feared most, a royal burden. Someone tweeted on the London Echo's page, "This isn't exile, it's an erasure. Harry will be remembered not as a prince, but as the one who forced the monarchy to change its locks." If you found this story interesting and full of emotion, don't forget to hit like and share this video with your friends and family so they can also discover these fascinating facts. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your feedback. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exciting videos and dramatic stories coming up next. Thank you for watching and see you in the upcoming videos.